I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
Hey, so yeah, we are going to review today Hurry Up Tomorrow, the movie.
Yes. The movie based on the album.
Yeah.
Except that the album is apparently based on the movie.
I mean, they're only in concept because realistically, the album he had to record the album first to put this out because he has his music in this movie.
Well, according to the Weeknd, the movie came first.
Well, he may meant that in conception. First off, bring up that source that says that. That's first off.
The album didn't exist, so this music was kind of, we were scoring and I guess writing music to picture. So yeah, the idea came from a real life incident that had happened, and I always saw it as a film. And so the film came first, and then
Okay, so those songs that he initially put. So what he's saying is that essentially the songs that he put on the album was the things he was recording for the movie, and then he decided to make it into an album.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we don't hear the whole album in the movie. We only hear a couple songs.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is so weird for an album movie. I was
Which is
expecting to
weird
hear more of the songs.
Which made no sense because that album was to always come out because he always planned on doing a trilogy.
Yeah.
That was always the Weeknd's plan. Weeknd was because started with After Hours. Then it went from After Hours. It went to Dawn FM, which was a really good album. I really like Dawn FM. And then he was always teasing. It was supposed to be called Afterlife, was what I remember. Essentially, that's what I think was going to be called. It was going to be called Afterlife. That was to be his next album, and then he released this shit. Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is supposed to be the end of the Weeknd whole week. Cause it's supposed to be the last Weeknd album. I think after this he'll be just releasing music under his name.
Oh.
Yeah, so this like the last. Childish Gambino actually did the same thing too. His last album was supposed to be like his last Gambino album. He's gonna go under his name, so Weeknd's kind of doing the same thing. All right, so essentially, this movie is about the Weeknd. Of course, he's on tour. In the middle of a tour, Barry Keoghan that's his best friend / manager. Whatever else, head of security, blah blah blah. He pretty much is his keeper. You know, known him for a while when he came from Ireland, and they hit it off and they blew up together. He does have a best friend like that in real life, that he blew up together with. But in reality, a superstar won't just have one person. He'll have an entire team on him. You know what I mean?
There'd be like 10 Barry Keoghans.
Yeah, it'll be like exactly like those guys have like a whole community behind them of people in. You know what I mean? Anyways, yeah. So there's more tour. But as he blah, he's in a real bad mental space. He's doing drugs with Barry. He's fucking with bitches. He's in a terrible mental health. He's just on a decline. He's freaking out and like really distraught over this girl that he was in a relationship leaving him, essentially. And what we pieced together from his conversations, how he speaks about her, he did something not great. She didn't take it well, and he left, and he took it as abandonment and is really struggling mentally and is going on a dark path. And Barry Keoghan was not helping. Just indulging those negative and hedonistic qualities.
Yeah.
Until he eventually can't sing on. He's doing a show. He's doing an opening, and his voice is just he can't sing. Sent to think it's medical, but it really was a panic attack. And that ended up leading him to being. And in that audience was Jenna Ortega. She burned down some home. I think it's a family's home, and now she's kind of on the run. And she finds herself at the Weeknd concert, another lost soul in the sea of souls in that audience. And she finds a way to make it backstage. They hit it off, and they spent the whole night together, doing things, whatever. And then woke up. Next thing you know, it was like I'm out. I'm doing me. I'm on a tour. I'm trying to be nice. I can't fuck with you. And she's like, "Oh, word? I bet." She knocks his ass out, and then spoiler alert, ties his ass up, and it just comes in this whole nightmare sequence where like she's kind of trying to make him like confront his darkest self and like. And reveal, you know what I mean, who he really is and accept who he is, I guess. All that kind of self, you know what I mean, help shit, like know yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is basically making him confront those things about himself, those hurtful things. And that's essentially, you know, and you can't tell if it's real or fake. That's pretty much what Hurry Up Tomorrow is.
Yeah, that's basically the plot of the movie. But this really, really stupid movie.
Yeah. So my personal opinions now. I mean, I hated it. I didn't.
Me too.
I didn't like it. And I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Like I've seen much worse. It's not like totally incompetent. And I think like a lot of his performances in this movie is kind of like memed. Especially the scene where he's like, telling Ortega to shut up. People take a snippet of it and it's like put it on the internet and like this is bad acting. And I guess it, but it's like in context, it's not as bad as it came off. Even then, and he wasn't as bad as I thought he was gonna come off. It wasn't great, but it wasn't nowhere near as bad. He tried. But he still wasn't a good performance from him. The entire movie. But he said that about everyone else. Barry Keoghan also. Yes. Far underwhelming performance. He could perform.
That's the worst I've ever seen him in any movie. Easy.
Ortega was okay. She was fine. That because she had to be a character that had to make her go out of herself a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like it. It came out very self-indulgent. I mean, Weeknd is a little too full of himself here. You make a music dude. You're not some kind of like messiah for the broken. I don't know. This kind of gave me like you think you're more than life, which is a lot of things in biopics. They kind of give off like this performers like once in a lifetime, generational.
But this isn't even like a pure biopic. This is like fictionalized version of something that kind of happened.
I mean, I'm not saying the lyrics. I'm saying in terms of like how they handle like they have this like, thing where they handle these like these like characters, these main movie stars, these like super main characters of their own story and the most important thing in the world. And that's the same vibe I get from this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's just one aspect. I mean, I feel the movie's barely any real plot. You're kind of just going through it. The sound design is atrocious.
I hate it so much. There's not a single point of that movie where there's no silence. It's just constant noise of the whole movie.
The implementation of music is just
weak sauce.
Weak as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then some cringy moments, especially when he breaks off singing at the very end. I guess it was symbolic of. I'll see it. This movie can do better.
Yeah, it really could have been a lot better because this isn't like the worst idea in the world. There's a lot of aspects that could have been done better, probably, but just the execution of everything. Like, oh my god,
sloppy.
Like this is exactly how I think. Like how out of touch movie executives view A24 movies. That's exactly how I felt watching this movie. It's like this is a bunch of nothing burger bullshit that's weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah.
Unlike an actual A24 movie, which will usually have a good amount of depth to it.
Yeah, because intentionality, and I think they're trying to have intentionality, but they just want to make something cool and seem cool, just all flash, no real substance.
Exactly. That's the best way to describe this movie: style over substance. That's all it is.
We're trying to fool you like some deep meaning in it. It's just trying to, but it's just the way they did it just did not come off right.
Yeah, because like it's basically just the Weeknd saying, "Oh, listen to my lyrics. My lyrics are so depressing. I am so hurt." I get that. We've listened to your lyrics. We understand that. This isn't some big deep revelation.
Yeah, Jenna, that's so cringy. It's insane.
Yeah, like when she's fucking dancing to the songs, it's like, hey, listen to your own words. Don't you understand the words that you wrote? It's saying
trying to Weeknd explain music to him.
Yes.
Like just came off as like was self promotion.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
It came across like it really. He really thought he did something in this movie, and he really didn't.
So like my score is simple. I'm giving it a flat out 30.
Yeah. Same. 30s, I think, is perfectly fair for a movie like this, because like it is competently shot and lit. Like it's definitely a good-looking movie, and the sound quality is good, even though the sound design is a complete mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie very much not good, not good at all. Definitely don't bother seeing it. It ain't even funny bad. It's just like boring bad for most.
Yeah. A lot of it I had to really try to keep myself like occupied.
Yeah, just wow.
Could not fuck with this at all.
Yeah. So if you're looking forward for an ironically hilarious movie, I'm sorry, but this ain't it. You're gonna have to look somewhere else for that.
Sorry, guys. If you're a Weeknd fan, I'll say maybe give him a shot. But if you're not even sure about the album itself, don't waste time on the movie.
Yeah, honestly, if you're a Weeknd fan, just listen to the album. Don't bother with the movie. It'll probably make you think less of him for watching the movie.
Sure do.
Anyways, I think that's all we have to say about Hurry Up Tomorrow. Hopefully you can finally get this out of the way until we get to our worst list, because this will probably be on there.
Later, guys.
Like and subscribe, y'all.